Yo, what up, humans? This is F.Y.I. transmitting live to you and yours from New City, LA, all the way to Canada. When I touch down in the country, I'm listening to the only station that counts, the Home Invasion Show. This ain't a podcast, this a broadcast.
I did promise that we have an interview today, and it seems like we got my man on the line.
Yo.
What's poppin', bro?
Yo, what's going down?
My man, it's F.Y.I. in the building.
Yeah. Calling straight from Mid-City, Los Angeles.
There you go. I was going to ask exactly where in L.A., but there you go.
Yeah. I'm calling all the way from Mid-City. Just wanted to touch down with y'all. Home Invasion Show.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate the phone call. And, we kind of had some scheduling difficulties, I guess you can call it. We were supposed to have you, I think, 2 weeks ago, But,
yeah.
It's all good, you know what I mean? It's all good having you on now. And, we're going to kick it straight to the interview now. So, why don't you tell the listeners who you are and just a brief history lesson on yourself, bro?
Yeah. So, my name is F.Y.I. I'm from Mid-City, LA. I was in a group called Those Chosen prior to starting my solo journey back in 2012. So in 2012, after I had my run with the group, I put out a project called Yo, the Places You'll Go, and that featured Ab Soul on it, on a song called Dopamine. It was a full-length LP. Had like 15 tracks on it. And then in 2015, I dropped a project called Age, Sex, Location. And then in 2016, I dropped a project called F.Y.I. Invented Green. And then last year in 2017, I dropped a project called AmeriBlack. And now, that was 2017. And then 2018, just a couple months ago, in November, I dropped a new project called Herecember 20NOW. So I've just been, and just the whole thing is just being consistent and continuing to put out good music, music that I'm inspired by, and hopefully inspires other people once they hear it. So
that's what's up, man. You've been grinding ever since, eh?
Yeah, pretty much. So
That's good to hear, man. Now, you did say that you started out in a group? Yeah, a group called Those Chosen.
Yeah, Those Chosen, and we made some noise. We was heavy on the scene like 2009, 2010, 11. We were doing different things. Got to perform at the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival. Of course, we did A3C Hip Hop Festival a couple times. We was on a reality show that was overseas. So it was a lot of things, but unfortunately, like a lot of groups, the creative differences, people have different visions and goals of what they want to do, and so I could kind of see the writing on the wall, and it was time to just venture out and do my thing as a soloist,
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that. Was there something specific that made you say, you know what, I gotta go?
The reality is the other cats in the group, they just quit, bro. You know what I'm saying? They just really quit. They just quit rap because it was just, I think a lot of people don't understand the dedication that it really takes to maybe one day be considered a great, or at least really be in a conversation as an elite artist in hip hop or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people don't realize, and especially those that are just on the come up, and I feel a lot of ways I'm still on the come up. Once you get your foot in the door just a little bit, that's when the work actually really begins. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think a lot of people realize that. And then they're just like, oh, I actually got to do more work. And it's like, yeah. So, you feel what I'm saying? So, it's just not for everybody, man. It's not for everybody, Like, it's just not for everybody. But but yeah, you know, I knew that it wasn't what I had a vision for as far as being an artist. I was comfortable being in a group, but I think it was just kind of a situation where I was kind of kicked out the nest. But in retrospect, it's been a blessing because now, you know, I feel I've grown as an artist a lot, and really it's just my complete creative vision now. You don't have to, you don't have to share it in a way, which is not bad, but I'm just saying it could be just totally on you. So it's a blessing to be a soloist, you know?
Man, that's what's up. My next question was going to be on that, right? But before we get into that, I just want to ask you, like, there's no animosity between you guys, though, right?
Nah. But I'm gonna be 100 with you. Like, I probably haven't talked to any of the cats in the group for, like, yeah, it's probably been since 2011, so it's been a lot of years. Yeah, but there's no, there's always love, and there's always gonna be love there, and you know, it was just a part of a chapter in my life, you know what I mean? But I mean, it is what it is. You just gotta move forward. So
that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
that's what's up. You know, if you look at most of the legendary artists that we all know now, most of them, they all started out in a group, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just kind of like everyone's story, because you're just, you know, when you're from the culture, it's hip-hop, you grow up with your friends, and you got the homies, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, we together, and and, you know, and we was always geeked out with some of the groups, you know, that came before us. We were inspired by a lot of those groups, you know, whether it was Outkast, Dead Prez, Black Star, The Roots. So there's always been dope groups, and that's like a dope dynamic. The Locks, you know, all these people. Yeah. So that's always a dope thing too. But you know, like I said before, it's just everybody has a different vision at the end of the day, what they want to do. And for me, I just always been, you know, real laser focused on the music and trying to get the music out there to as many people as possible, and just trying to spread love through the music. So
that's what's up, man. You kind of took me off guard, though, man, naming all these East Coast groups and shit, you know? I was expecting, you know, Digital Underground. I was expecting, like, you know, shit like that, you know, E40 and the Click, you know?
You know what? And I say this with all respect, because first of all, I want to say E40 is probably one of the most underrated. He's not slept on, but I say he's underrated and underappreciated by the hip-hop historians, you know, or whoever the gatekeepers are. Like, E40 should be held up there in the same regard as Jay-Z, in my opinion. But see, I'm coming from the West Coast, and, you know, at the end of the day, my top 5 of my list of all-time greats is probably going to be a little different from someone that may be on the East Coast or the South, just because certain things just touch the culture, lyrically, the lingo, and everything. It just touches in a different way. But I mean, for me, I've always, I never looked at it like, I'm gonna say this, I never really looked at it as a coastal things. Obviously, you know, everyone has their flavor, and especially coming up, there was a lot more of a delineation. I mean, when I was coming, there was a lot more of a delineation between, okay, that's East Coast, that's definitely West. Now, with the internet and everything, everybody's kind of just like a melting pot more and more. But I would just say I always gravitated towards people who had message, right, and bars, right. So those just happen to be disproportionately a lot more people from the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of West Coast spitters too. You know, Souls of Mission, there's all types of people. I could go on for days.
I was gonna say, man, Freestyle Fellowship, you know?
Yeah. I could go on for days about, you know, Raz cats and all these cats. There's a lot of people with bars, you know what I'm saying? Right. But I'm naming, I'd have to say though, aside from that, I'm naming people who I really rocked with their albums.
Most definitely.
Like
yeah.
I played certain albums out, like wore them out. So that's what I'm on too.
Yeah.
So it is about bars, but it is very much about being a complete artist and making good songs, good music. So
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, man. All the groups that you named, I mess with too. I vibe with too, you know?
Yeah, most definitely.
But like, I mean, when it comes to me though, between E40 and Jay-Z, you say E40 got to be in the same plateau as Jay-Z. I say even greater than Jay-Z.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would say, I mean, and what I mean by that is like both are dope, but I'm saying one is just media wise and attention wise for the music, because I mean Jay-Z has a lot more. He has a lot of things going on, but E42 is a businessman in a lot of ways, and honestly was doing it way before Jay-Z. But it's just that, you know, when it's written, when the history books are written in the media, a lot of times they don't. They usually discount certain people or don't even really put them in the conversation.
Most definitely.
It's just like, dude, you know what I mean? Before he got like probably 25 albums or something crazy.
Hell yeah.
Like that.
You know, and he put on everybody from like his side of town. You know what I mean? Vallejo was held down.
Yeah. Nah, he's you know what I'm saying? Solidified. So you can't knock that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. But you know, let's bring it back to you. You were talking how being in a group, you had to like share certain ideas and stuff like that in terms of like the writing process. But now being solo, you're doing it up like that. Like I wanted to know exactly what the difference was like. You know, the dynamic between writing in a group and just writing with yourself.
Well, I mean, it's just off top. It's a pretty easy difference. Like in a group, if you have one or three people or four people, then that's a fourth, a third, or a half of the work. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're a soloist, just on a strictly writing perspective, you know, you may have to write 2 verses, 3 verses. You gotta come up with the hooks totally by yourself. Things of that nature. So in a group, sometimes, I mean, of course, I always wrote all my raps. I want to make sure that is very, very clear. I always wrote all of my raps. And even in the group, Quiet as Kept, I would come with, you know, a humble brag, but I would come with at least 75% of the concepts a lot of times, and even the hooks. But that other 25%, you know, another brother in the group, he would come with the hook sometimes, or come with the concept. I just had to come with the flow.
Right.
So, you know, it's easier. Also, too, you know, what's a dope thing about groups is the voice, and you get different personalities and dynamics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you're a soloist, you have to be more. I try to be more conscientious when I'm making records to, you know, make sure to switch up cadences, flows, the aggression, the pitch, the delivery, where people can at least get a feeling, even though it's me on each verse, that it's a different perspective, or maybe even a different person as far as vibe is concerned. So that's the blessing of having a group. You know, you're always going to have three or 2 distinct personalities, versus as a soloist, it's just that one person, you know what I'm saying? But but as a soloist though, I think the good thing is it's not when you're creating the music, it could be one streamlined vision, as well as it could be executed at a different level of that one vision. You know what I'm saying? But when the group is definitely in sync, it's a powerful thing. Definitely.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. So it's good, and it's I wouldn't say good and bad. It's just different and different. That's all.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Do you feel like there was any topics or like themes that you wanted to talk about, but you really couldn't because of the group? Nah, I never felt like that. We because we was
we was always building together and spending a lot of time together. So as a group, you have to spend a lot of time together in order to make just even decent music. And so the music that we were making, I feel, was pretty strong. So it takes even more building together. So everyone's kind of thinking on the same wavelength. So I never felt like, I can't express myself, because then that's also, you know, on a record, it could be like, well, okay, that would be someone's solo song, and they can just go for dolo, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, so it's just a creative thing. It's never like, I never felt like I couldn't do something totally just because I'm in a group. So, nah. But, I mean, once again, just being F.Y.I, just being a solo artist now, you know, once again, it's a great feeling. Just you can just totally express your feeling, yourself, as well as you can be more personable. You know, like, I'm just telling my story, not necessarily a fraction of my story. So
that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Shit, all right. Well, I mean, you said you just a couple months back you dropped your new project, Herecember 20NOW.
Yeah. Herecember 20NOW came out November 30th, so it's fresh off the press. It's 5 joints, bonus track on there called Finesse and Loathing in San Francisco. But I got the lead-off single is called Boom, produced by Ill Mind. I also got some of my in-house producers, homies on there. Sir John Lee from Compton, he produced another track called SYS. I got Dual Output on there. He produced the track, The Logos God, and then the homie K-Wiz, he produced the song Ammo Sexual. So I got some bangers on there, man, and definitely Ill Mind. He brought the flavor, and you know, a lot of people know his pedigree, so it's definitely something people need to check out. It's a match made in heaven, hip hop heaven.
We got that. So right after the interview, right after everything's all done, we gonna be spinning the entire project from track 1 to track 6 all the way through with no pauses, no interruptions, none of that shit. So you'll definitely get to hear what the artist's vision was like when he put all the tracks together in that order and all that. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's dope, man. That's real dope. Yeah.
Guys, how we do on the home invasion, bro? You know?
Okay, you invading homes for real.
Hey man, we invading homes, cars, and phones. You know, it's 2019 now, so
that's right. That's what I'm talking about. We trying to get them. We trying to really get them on everything. I got you.
That's what's up. Now, your project Herecember 20NOW. What's the significance behind the name?
Herecember 20NOW. As soon as I say it, it sounds like a season. It sounds like a period of time. And when I was thinking of the concept, I've been saying 20 now for a while, just describing this era that we're in. You know, some people are saying, oh, we got the 2000s, the mid 2000s, but all of it is 20 now, because the reality is this. Even fast forward, if we go to next year, it'll be 2020, right?
Right.
We're still 80 years off from the year 2100. Now, even if someone right now is listening and they're 13 years old listening to this program tonight, which they should be asleep, but let's just say they up right now trying to get that flavor. You know, God bless them, but they may not even be living 80 years from now, or they'll be 93 years old to see the year 2100. So a lot of us ain't even gonna be able to see the year 2100, you know, that's living right now. So this is the 20 now. This is the present, and it's really just about the present. You know what I mean? Like, it's here. So that's really all I'm saying, and it's not about focusing really on the past. It's not really focusing on the future. It's just focusing on the present, the now, because that's all we ever got, you know?
Man, you really got that third eye open, huh?
I try, you know what I'm saying? God is good. Yeah, the third eye been open for a long time, brother.
I appreciate
People just gotta go to the music. They just gotta go to the music. It's all there.
Yeah, nah, that's dope, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like what's the reception been like for your project?
Oh man, it's been, you know what I'm saying, it's been a blessing thus far. Outlets such as yourself been playing the record, been getting spins on college radio, internet. You know, people been hitting me up in the DM saying that they like the project. And I had a release party for it in December. It was a great reception. And, you know, a couple VIPs and big people in the game bigging me up. Shout out the homie Adrian Young. He's doing his thing. He's been shouting me out on his gram and stuff. So we're just picking up steam, man. You know what I mean? It's my music is something that I feel like it just gets better with time. So when more and more people discover it and they listen to it, they find more and more jewels on it and the richness of the project. So I try not to make microwave music. So it's a meal. It's a good meal that you sit down, you eat, and you digest it. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's been a great reception thus far, and just looking forward to, you know, the next couple months or weeks, just to keep spreading the word about the music, you know.
You took it on tour yet?
No, I have not taken it on tour yet. That is something that we definitely, talking to my team, we definitely trying to get it worked up and going. It's not really tour season yet. I do got a show, I believe, coming up in February, you know, coming up next month. So we'll be doing that. But, yeah, once tour season comes around, we got to try to go somewhere. I'm trying to come up to Canada with y'all. Y'all holler at the bookers. Let's make it pop. I'm going to come up there and fuck with y'all.
You got the email now. You got the phone number now. Use it, man. You know what I mean? Get us.
All right.
We'll hold you down.
I'll come through.
That's what's up. You ever been to Canada before?
Actually, no. No, but the Homeless agent sounds like they trying to introduce me to Canada. Oh, speaking of that.
What's poppin'?
Not on this project, but I do want to shout out just some long time collaborating homies from Toronto that I've always fucked with. One person in particular is Rich Kid. And Rich Kid's always held me down on the beat. So
yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. So Rich Kid, yeah. So well, we've talked before, but I've never been able to get up there yet. But Canada's always been on my side for a minute. I appreciate that. So yeah, I need to come up there and show some love, you know.
Yeah, man. I told you, you know, we got you. We'll hold you down. We got you like a back, you know.
All right, no doubt.
Now, you know, I was reading your credentials, you know, with your bio and stuff like that, and it seems like, yo, you're decorated. You've been doing your thing and stuff like that. So why don't you tell your listeners about some of the stripes you got on your sleeve, man?
Man. Well, basically, I just want to tell my listeners that get the new project, Herecember 20NOW, and there's going to be plenty of stripes on there that you'll hear just by the flows, the bars. And I feel like my best accomplishments are in front of me. You know, of course, go to the bio, check it out. And, you know, I've been asked to meet some people and do different things. But I feel like my biggest accomplishments are in front of me, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds with those. But right now, it's about Herecember 20NOW. Y'all go get that. Stream it, buy it, all that.
Why don't you tell them where to pick it up?
They can go to my website. Just go to F.Y.I. songs. That's FYIPSALMS.com. So it's like F.Y.I. songs. It's like Psalms, like the Bible.
Yeah. And
you can pick it up there. Of course, you can just go to my social media sites. All of them are at F.Y.I. songs. and that's for Instagram, YouTube, etc. So Herecember 20NOW is on all platforms. On Spotify, if you just type in my name, F.Y.I, you're gonna get everything. So
you thought about dropping the project on like vinyl or CD?
I've been thinking about putting some hard copies together. I've definitely been thinking about putting some hard copies together. So what do you think? You think I should do some vinyl?
Honestly, man, I'm a CD collector. I've been collecting CDs for a bit.
Okay.
But vinyl is definitely in nowadays. You got a lot of hipsters. You got a lot of, collectors, So
yeah, my last couple of projects I have CDs for.
That's what's up.
Yeah, Mara Black, A-Sex Location, and Yo the Place to Go. I got CDs for. This project though, I haven't done physicals yet, but I'll work on it definitely for shows. I like to have physicals. Some people really appreciate that. I do got merch for Herecember 20NOW, so people could once again go to my website. www.fyisongs.com, and I got t-shirts, I got posters, I got hats for the new project, and as well as other stuff, so people could go check that out.
There you go. That's where to go. One-stop shop.
Yes.
Now, you were talking about how you guys starting a reality show?
Yeah. We were hosts in this reality show called Holland In Da Hood. So basically the premise was like these cats from Holland want to come to LA to want to like be immersed in hip hop culture as well as kind of get rap coached. So at the time, my group, we were like rap coaches, and they had like a host, another MC that was from Holland that was kind of doing this thing, and you know what I mean? It was a pretty big show. It aired in Amsterdam, or in Holland, I should say, and when it aired, it was like the number 3 trending topic on Twitter, period. Like third after, like the first was like Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, but NFL opener, and then something else, and then that show. And Holland is a small country. It's only like maybe 1 million people for the whole country. So there's 10 million people in Los Angeles, the city alone. So for it to make that kind of noise, it was pretty big. It was on their major network, and
that's crazy.
It was on like for 2 months right after their Survivor. Like it was on their ABC or something, Channel 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty big. So it was dope. It was a fun experience. You know what I mean?
Well, how did you get involved?
Oh man, just putting in that work, you know what I'm saying? One of the things that's key is just always networking and meeting people. So they reached out to us. They liked what we were doing and our presence, and was like, yo, we want to get y'all on this show. So, so that's the thing. It always starts with the music. If the music's good, people reach out.
Yeah, no, it's crazy who you meet, or sometimes who hears your shit sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I never thought it would be, be resonating in Holland, and sure enough. So.
Have you ever been to Holland, like to perform and stuff?
No, not yet. I definitely want to go out there too. So that's the plan, man. To hit up. Yeah. Hit up different markets like that, hit up different countries. So
capitalize on that celebrity status over there. They already know who you are. So performing like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Why don't you take us behind the scenes in the reality show? Because there's some crazy shit like that. What was that like?
Yeah. Being on the other side of reality TV, no matter what they say or how they try to make it real, reality TV is very much scripted, bro.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. So what they do most of the time, and I mean, I can't speak on what current shows are now, but in general, they give you scenarios. And there's no lie. It's not like television in the sense where they're giving you lines, so you have to act out those lines. But they give you scenarios, and then you kind of just freestyle. But if it's good, they'll keep it. If it was like, you could do better, do it again, do the same thing over. So it's once again, it's not scripted, but it's scripted.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's fun. You know what I mean? It's fun.
Man, you got that money, right? So you can't hate on that.
Hey, that is definitely the truth. You know, TV money is definitely different from music money. So
for sure, especially when they syndicate that shit. You know?
Exactly.
My man. Now, for y'all that's just tuning in right now, we got my man F.Y.I calling all the way in from Mid-City, Los Angeles, holding it down, talking about Herecember 20NOW, his new project. We will be spinning it once again right after the interview's over and done with, from track 1 to track 6, first to last, top to bottom, with no interruptions, no pauses, nothing in between, giving y'all the whole vibe. And make sure y'all hit up FYI Psalms.com, one-stop shop, everything y'all need, pick it up and show your support, you know? So taking it back to your interview, now I'm seeing right here, like on your Twitter and in your bio and stuff like that, you were talking about being a Hue man, as in like H-U-E man. That's something, number one, I vibe with heavy, all right? And number two, why don't you tell the listeners what that was like, what the thought process was like, and like how did you get to that point?
Yeah, so it's pronounced human, but I just put the E in there. Yeah. So basically, you know, hue means color, usually like darker color, but when you combine those, it's just basically saying that, you know, we have, as mankind and humanity, that we have dimensions to us. We're not really, none of us are really just one thing, you know? And so when it comes back to the music, as an artist, I feel it's my obligation and a duty to be able to convey sonically and rhythmically those emotions. So sometimes people are happy, sometimes we're sad, sometimes we're vulnerable, sometimes we're spiritual, sometimes we're ratchet, sometimes we're angry, sometimes we just want to be lazy. So when it comes to the music, I want to be able to evoke as many of those emotions as possible and show the different facets of being human. And so I've been on for a while that music is a mood, but it's also a color, you know what I mean? And we're colorful people, so if people have been paying attention to the projects that I've been dropping, I already have 2 different albums that kind of go off that color theme. So I'm making a trilogy. So I'm just letting people know that it's an exclusive Home Invasion, the Home Invasion interview that I'm giving as far as that trilogy. I don't think I've ever told anybody that, so y'all getting it first. But
there you go.
The project was, so one of them just to keep that color theme and the whole human, the human theme is in all my music, but I'm just using that as an example just to bring it home. So F.Y.I Invented Green, I put that out in 2016, and then the project after that was AmeriBlack. So those are 2 different projects there, and then I plan on putting together another album that's going to have that kind of theme in it, and that's going to be like the trilogy, just kind of to complete that chapter. But the human thing is something that that's just a part of me. That's the movement. That's just something descriptive to kind of express my words and my artistry, because that's just what it is. We're just, you know, no one's one thing all the time. So,
hey man, you're bringing that culture to the culture, you know?
Exactly.
There's respect. Now, I'm not really in the music industry like that, not like you, right? My question to you though is, you ever had like any sit downs with like major labels and stuff like that, and they tell you that, you know, you're not really marketable because you're pretty much doing the positivity thing, right?
Yeah.
You ever, like, did they ever tell you exactly why?
Well, I've never had anyone explicitly say that.
Okay.
I think there's a misnomer that when you make a certain kind of music, it's not marketable, especially in rap, because there's a couple layers to that. For one, when it comes to rap music and hip hop music, even though it is the most popular genre, it's the most consumed music right now, no matter what anybody says.
No, it is. It definitely is.
It still is the most misconstrued music, as well as the most, as far as corporate interest is concerned, it's still the music out of all the other genres that they try to pigeonhole and put in a box and stereotype. You know what I'm saying? And I could go on why they say that or not say that. I ain't gonna get into that right now, but the reality is, you know, there are certain powers that be that would like to see only one kind of image come out of hip hop, because they're outside of the culture. They think that's what the culture is. That's their perception of the culture. So their perception, being someone outside of the culture, their perception of that culture is, these people are thugs. All these people do is smoke weed. All these people do is they're gangsters, blah, blah, blah. And it's intriguing because people are intrigued by gangster shit. You know, people. That's why we sit on Netflix, we watch Narcos and all this other shit. People like that kind of shit because it's not necessarily a lifestyle that they're even a part of, but they can look at it from afar, but not have to deal with the consequences of it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I can look at people getting shot and selling dope and all that, and it's like kind of entertaining and intriguing. But then I don't have to get caught up in it. And then you have, on the other side, you know, someone like myself who can, you know, I'm maybe not the smartest person, but I know how to put a sentence together, and I don't want to just talk about selling dope and all this other stuff. Not trying to downplay that, because I think that has a time and place too. And then it's like, some people will say, well, what do we do with that? You know what I'm saying? Because the people we're marketing to, they don't want to hear that because they're all stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's their thoughts. But it's like, no, people aren't that stupid. And people do like to hear other things, and people do want to hear the truth, or people do want to be inspired, and people do want to hear lyrics, and people do want to hear bars, and people are intrigued by creativity and artistry. You know what I'm saying? And we know that to be true because some of the artists right now that's really killing the game and well respected are artists that do that. So for me, you know, when I push through, when that time comes, when I push through to that major mainstream corporate level, it's not going to be any different for me. You know what I mean? I'm definitely going to be able to do what I want to do, and on the corporate side, sell records for them and all that other stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't have to put on the I don't have to shuck and jive or try to change who I am. I just gotta be me, and
sure.
You know what I mean. So, but yeah, but I know that was a long answer. But to go back to what you're saying, yes, the industry is always built to try to the artists into what they think they need, you know what I mean, just to make a quick dollar. But it's up to the artists to have integrity and to continue to be themselves. Now, if you truly are that dope slinging, gun-toting gangster-ass niggas, then okay, that's your thing. But if you are a nerdy cat, or you like to read, or you're a hippie, or you're this and that, then you need to be that too. And I think there's lanes now more than ever for everyone to do that. That's very obvious, because there's a lot of people that's like on some depressed, depression, Percocet rap and singing and all that shit. So I think there's room for everybody. But on this side of things, when people turn on F.Y.I, yes, they're gonna hear some positivity. They're gonna be challenged. They're gonna be inspired. We're gonna talk about different things. We gonna talk about life. We ain't always gonna talk about death, and we're gonna talk about other things. So
that's what's up.
That's just me. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just seems like the industry isn't really focusing on, just like the gangsterism, the gangster life and all this nonsense. You know what I mean? Not really, not anymore. It seems like now they're leaning more towards like the flamboyant side of hip hop. You know what I mean? They're trying to bring that into the mainstream, and that's what they're pushing heavy and stuff like that.
They definitely pushing that. I can't wear no skirts either, so.
I'm with you on that one. You know what I mean? It's still khakis, t-shirt, chucks. You know
what I'm saying? Yeah. As soon as the game is like you can't come in without a skirt, then I guess I'm out the game. You know what I'm
Crazy shit.
Yeah, man.
I'm assuming you a young cat, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, you being young and stuff like that, and in the hip-hop game, why do you think there's such a divide between the younger cats and the older OGs that put it down before everybody else?
I think it's just a lack of information. I think it's just a lack of knowledge. But I mean, honestly, I think that's always been. I just think in social media age it's blown up. But I think it's always been like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you probably go back and talk to like the early 90s cats, the late 80s, early 80s cats wasn't feeling them too much. And so I don't think it's nothing new under the sun. It's just the social media age makes it feel like. But I think in hip hop in general, because it's such a rebellious vibe in the sense that we're always trying to push forward, and it's not really about looking back. I think some of that understanding of history is really not cherished like it should be, because at the end of the day, the more you know about the history of the game and hip hop, the more sharper you'll be at pushing it forward or trying something else. Because the reality is, too, more than people think, a lot of shit is being regurgitated because they don't know that that's already been done. So it's like, it's kind of new, because if you don't know about the old shit, then it's like, oh, it's new, but then it's not like, we're at a point now where hip-hop is sampling hip-hop records. And I don't know if that's dope. Is that dope? I don't know. Is that dope? That's the question I'm asking.
Like you said, regurgitation.
It's regurgitation. So instead of pushing it forward, shit is just being repeated, but you won't repeat it if you knew some of the stuff of the past. That's all I'm saying. So it's kind of like you gotta do a little bit of both. And I mean, it's not to each his own, and everyone comes in at a different stage, you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. But yeah, no, I just think social media blows it up. That's all. Social media blows it up.
Man, something that always got me thinking is like, yo, could you imagine the whole West Coast, East Coast beef with Twitter and Instagram involved?
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Right? I kind of feel like people people might not have died though if it was that era. That's just my theory, because it's like a lot of niggas talk shit on the internet, but that's all it is. It's just a lot of talking shit, and nothing ever really comes out of it. But that time period, it was like, it wasn't no internet to let people vent, and then when they see each other, like, fuck it, I already said my shit. So it's just kind of like on site. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. So I don't know. I
mean,
I don't know.
If you ask Stitches, he'll tell you something different.
Yeah, well, no, most definitely. I'm not saying niggas can't get touched out here. They get touched still. But I'm just saying, I feel like the internet has it's kind of curtailed some of the stuff to a certain extent, just because a lot more people can be tough on the internet.
Of course, yeah.
So that's all.
I hear that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
God damn. Do you feel that the game has gotten sensitive?
Has the game gotten sensitive?
As in the hip hop game, not the rapper, just in case?
That's a good question. I'm not particularly sure. I think the game is veered away from what it really needs to be about, and that's the music. I think a lot of people's heads is gassed. I think a lot of people have too much of a self-importance when they don't even make music. And it's not to disrespect, but it's like, and it's not always about the artist, but it's definitely like there's a lot of gatekeepers and curators and whoever, you know, and they think they got the golden, I don't know, the golden ticket. It's like, but you don't make music though. So who are you to really say? Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Like, some of it's entertaining and some of them are entertaining. You know what I mean? But it's not. At the end of the day, the needle is being pushed forward by the music, and there should just be a little bit more respect for the artist and the artistry that's being pushed out there. And you know, okay, so you're a media mogul or whatever. Like, okay, what does that mean though? Like, that's just me though. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what creates a lot of bullshit. A lot of the bullshit where it's the, you know, now we talking like a lot of, and that's why, you know, we having a good conversation now, and I want people to hear the personality and enjoy this interview. I really do. But that's really what the conversation is turned into almost, where it's like, I don't think anyone was like, oh yeah, I kind of heard about his music, but did you see that interview though? That interview was fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't play interviews at the club or in your car.
Yeah, no, you
can't. You can only bang the music. You feel what I'm saying? So, are we in the rap game or are we in the podcast game? What game are we in? I thought we was in the rap game. So,
for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's all love, man. Once again, I'm here to spread love. God is good, you know what I'm saying? And Herecember 20NOW Now. Y'all go get that, the Home Invasion show.
That's what's up, man. We got that. Now, before we let you go, last question. Yes, sir. You in the music scene, you in the music industry, and you know, there's a lot of craziness that we don't actually hear about behind the scenes, just some crazy shit. You know, when Quincy Jones kind of came out and just did that interview and kind of like shed a lot of light on the craziness, people were like in disbelief. You being in the music industry, have you ever heard or seen something that just made you go like, what the hell is going on? You don't have to name any names. You don't have to say anything specific. Just let us know something, you know?
Yeah, of course. I'll just say this. I try to, for some of the people that I really admire, sometimes I like just to I like just to keep them known as the people that I've listened to on records and maybe went and saw their show or just admired from a distance. You know what I mean? So, like, unfortunately, I've met some of my hip-hop heroes. I've been in the same room with some people that I just really fuck with their music. But then when I met them as people, I wasn't feeling them the same way.
Right.
And I say that to say, especially now, because everything is transparent. So I don't really know what nobody else doesn't. Everyone knows everything because the internet, you on IG every day, and everybody wants to know when you take a shit and all that. So I don't think there's not really any more secrets about anything. But I just, what I would say is, as much as possible, people should try to separate the artistry from the person, and kind of just know as much as possible. You can love the artistry, and then if you hear about the person down the line or the artist that is a person and they did this and they did that, and I know some people already. I'm not trying to defend nobody if someone did something wrong or something, but I'm just trying to say it's two different people. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
And there's a lot of stuff that people can enjoy in the world, but if you found out who the person that created it and what they were about or who they were personally, you may not really like them like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But unless you're talking about F.Y.I, everybody likes me because I'm just a cool nigga. You know what
That's
I'm
what's
saying?
up.
But that's for the book, bro. We can't give you the book. I gotta wait till this is all said and done, and then like Quincy, when I'm 85, 95, I'm gonna just write a book and be like, yeah, that nigga did this and da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna put them out there right now like that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's all love. Herecember 20 now.
That's what it is. You know, it's crazy because like that's what happened with me and Ice Cube. You know, I was really vibing with his music, and then I just heard about, like, you know, what kind of person he was and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I can't support this dude at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Cube he's a legend, man. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything bad about Cube per se, personally, especially being on the West Coast. But everybody has their own perspectives and everybody has their own thoughts about people or business. And that's the thing too. Like, you have business situations where people feel a certain way because of a business thing. So
exactly.
I mean, you can't please. Nobody can please everybody at all at the same time. But as much as possible, it's good to try to just live with integrity and show love to people and try to do your best. But
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. My man F.Y.I, always with the positivity, and I'm digging it. Right?
Yes.
My man, hold it down, Mid-City, Los Angeles in the building in full effect. And much love. You got the time right now. What is it? 12:53 for you right now?
Yeah. Definitely got to get out the horn. But Home Invasion, I appreciate y'all for having me. Canada, I appreciate y'all for listening in. And just Herecember 20 now. Go get that. Hit me up on all the social medias at F.Y.I Songs. Go to the website, FYISongs.com. And then also follow me on Spotify, F.Y.I. F.Y.I. Yep, that's it.